In today's video, we're going to talk and discuss Meta. I am your host, The Cowboy. This is Elliott Wave Cafe. Let's get started. Alright guys, so Meta just had earnings. This is Facebook, and the earnings did not come in that well, or at least not by the reaction in the stock. I think we're done over 10% in the after hours. It's been a pretty heavy sell-off. We're trading at about 106.44 at the moment in the after hours, and the stock has been trading at the high of about 384. So it has been taken to the woodshed pretty much. We are coming below these levels here from 2019, I think it was. And I wanted to take a look at the Elliott Wave structures in here, and they should be pretty simple. But just to kind of, go over the count and what I think it's going, what I think it's about to happen next, and kind of how it looks overall. So what you're looking at the an arithmetic scale of Meta in here, and let's pop up some charts. Now, without putting the log scale on, you can see that there was a big rally in here with a pretty decent sell-off. So you can go possibly in an A, B, and then you can do a C wave. So you can have an A down in B, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this could complete just by not even digesting anything that's inside the structures much. Just by looking at it and say, fine, that's an ABC. Almost looks like you have equal legs between this low and this high, this low and this high. Doesn't look that bad. Let me just actually try to put that and see if at least gives us something like that. Yeah, it's about, let's say 161. So it's a little bit more in terms of, the rally that it kind of had from, from this low all the way up here to this high. Right, you're just kind of passing 161.8. I have it as a negative to just kind of use one fib tool in here, but that's kind of where we are. So, and then you're having a big sell-off, right? And if I change the scale and let's go to the log scale, right, then you can see that maybe this is a little bit better counted as a 1-2. From these lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 1, 2, and then you got a larger third wave. This whole advance here is a third wave, a fourth, and then a 1 deep 2, 3 sideways 4 up in 5, and you're done in a 5-way sequence. So now, obviously, you're getting, the next decline lower, which is, usually it's an ABC. So following a 5-wave advance, you get the next decline. Even if it's an ABC, right? So let's say that you're going back to an arithmetic scale, and you just do it as an ABC from here, A, B, C, right? You're still going to get an A up in B and then down in C, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing looking longer term in here. I don't think Meta is ready to overtake this 384. If it's going to do it, it's probably going to do it after many, many years. First we need to do a B wave rally and then some kind of a C wave decline. But this is kind of how the count looks. And let's see if I can pop it up in here. So you can see in here, right? 1, 2, little 2 back in here, right at the bottom. My battery's running out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up in 5, and then you're going to get your A wave right there, right? In the area to the previous fourth wave, even though I think we're a little bit lower than that at the moment. Let's see what that fourth wave was. This was about 123. So yeah, we're about $10 below that. 10, no, almost $20 below the level. Wow. So now that's an A. They're probably going to do a B and a C. If I change back to a log, then you'll see how this looks. So that's 1, 2. So you have better proportion between wave 4 and wave 2, which is kind of what you want to see. The arithmetic scale doesn't really do it justice when you count that, especially because it looks as a percentage change. So you have 1, 2, again, 3, 4, then a wave 5 in there. And then these are some of the subdivisions. So you can see, and I'm only doing them up here into this decline. So let me just kind of go back. So that's A. Now you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from a 1-week chart. That means that we're going to come here in this wave A low, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, where is this gonna terminate, right? Because I've counted Meta before as Facebook, and I was under the impression that the structure was finishing somewhere after the sell-off, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the market just did another 4 and another 5, right? That's why it's important, you know, to kind of think of it like, just because you can count these waves in here, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, that you found the end of them. And you know, you got to see a lot more evidence, you know, rallies in the opposite direction in a 5-way sequence, overtaking some of the previous swing highs, you know, over some certain key moving averages, stuff like that. And Meta did not really respond. I mean, this is 132 right there, right? And it stopped there, but now with the sell-off, we're trading 105.35. So, you know, not looking too good in here, but here is the structure. If you want to kind of follow along, you have a 1-2 now from these highs of 384, and then what made me count it like this is basically this huge gap that you have in here, right? Which looks like the third of a third, and this is actually third of a third of a third, because you have 3 1-2s, one on top of each other. You got the first impulse in a wave 1 minor, then you go up in 2, right? Then you get at the next degree at the minute degree, and then you have at the minuet degree. So 1, 2, another impulse in 1, up in 2, so corrected waves, down an impulse, sharp wave 2, and then bam. So you sell lower in maybe an extended wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For the wave 3, you go up in 4, you come down in 5. And, you know, sometimes this back in here tricks you, because you might think that maybe that's a flat correction, and you go only in a 1, 2, and you say 3, 4, and 5, and you're done, right? But you kind of always have to assume going back, well, how could it be that it still could go lower? Like, under what circumstances? And then you got to put in a series of 1 and 2s up at the top, and that still allows for further subdivisions. And what this does, this allows you to think that, you know, maybe you shouldn't be prematurely buying the stock just because, you know, it looks like it's got a 5-way sequence down. You know, I bought this stock based on, you know, thinking that way, and, you know, I got my ass handed to me, right? So this is where we are in the sequence. We're continuing to trend lower. How much lower? Nobody really knows. I mean, we can start to pull some fibs, but it doesn't mean they're going to get respected necessarily. And I don't want to find the exact low, you know, rather wait the market for tell us that. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is the third at the minute degree, 4 and 5. Another 4 in here, right, at this minor degree, back in there. And now we're beginning the next sequence lower, and it looks like one more time that's a 1, 2. You've done a third, you did a fourth, and you're in a final sell-off of this fifth wave, right? Which could be, I mean, look, this is where we are. We're trading 105 right now. This is how much lower we are. So maybe we're still in a third wave, you know, at this degree, at this minor degree. Let's jump in and see if I can see anything. Hopefully my chart doesn't get distorted. Doesn't look like it too. Let's see if I can show extended data. Oh, there you go. So this is the biggest sell-off that we've gotten today. So let me just do that. And then it looks like you're selling off. Let me get rid of the cursor. You're selling off in a, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1. Then you got an ABC. So 1, 2. Let's do that. 1, 2. Okay, now the question is this another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or wave 3 terminated here? You've done a wave 4 and a wave 5. And this latest sell-off, the sharp sell-off, is actually wave 5 of wave A. I mean, this would be amazing if Meta would terminate near the $100 level, right? Let's see if we can pull some fibs in here. And I'm going to go back to the arithmetic scale to do this. So we're going to start here, and we're going to go all the way up. And you see that the 78.6 retracement of this entire advance in Meta comes in at about 96.04. So I would look at that level as being a pretty decent chance of a low in the stock. But what you would have to do is we would have to look for evidence that that's the case, and that would be, you know, some kind of a 5-wave rally from this low higher, right? And looks like my chart is getting screwed up a little bit in here. I'm sorry about this, but you know, the level that I would look for would be, let's say, this fourth wave at the minor degree, because we're watching the minor degree unfold in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if Meta can climb, and this, I mean, remember, if you're coming down to 96 or maybe near 90, you're almost going to double from 90 to 180 before you start to have confidence that the stock has actually bottomed. and it's got to do it in 5 waves, and then you're going to get a setback, and it's probably going to look like some kind of an inverted head and shoulder formation where it goes, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're probably going to sell back at an ABC. You're going to make a neckline in here, so it's going to take time for this thing to bottom. Okay, so there's no rush here really. Let's wait for it to form a low. We're going to watch how it behaves. After it does form a low, it might take 6 months before this thing is ready to actually rip to the upside in any significant manner. So, because it's got a lot of technical damage, okay? You got to start to convince the bulls that, yeah, it's a low, it's a form. You got to, get the bears to wash out and flush and all that stuff. And then, maybe then you can start to rally some stronger. But I would watch 96.04. I didn't do any big projections from these levels. I mean, we can try to do something like that. Let me see, if there's anything in here that would point to maybe like a confluence of levels. Maybe do a wave 5 versus wave. Let's see in here. Let's do some of those. So here you go. You have wave 5 versus 1 through 3, which is a pretty good indicator when you have a large third wave like that. And that's at about 38.2%, comes in at about 94.18. Right, so I'm going to pin this out, and then we'll do some more calculations. So let's do another Alt 5. There you go. You got 5v1, which is at about 100%, was about 106. Okay, so you're coming into some, some decent fib zones in here, between 106 and 94.18. Okay, and then you can also do some fib calculations of this wave 5 minute versus wave 1 minute, or versus 1 plus 3, or versus 3 versus 4. Sometimes you have, we're looking at inverse relationships, like reverse fibs and stuff like that. So anyway, a couple of interesting levels coming here. I think it's a pretty good cluster. We'll see if this is the major flush, but I would allow for the stock to base, between 90 and 95, as it's probably continuing to trend a little bit lower in here, but we'll see. So I hope this analysis was decent for you guys. If you appreciate it, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I think we're 2 or 3 subscribers from 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've started this channel, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. It's been a slow grind, and I'm doing a lot of work, putting out these videos and trying to stay with it. But I appreciate you all being here. You're all kind of coming back and commenting on this, and giving your thumbs up, and I get responses on Twitter and stuff like that. And I've gotten members into my pro room from the YouTube channel as well. So if you want to dive deep, come and visit me in the pro room too. We're doing their videos every single day, and charts, and I have a course with Elliott Wave and all that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be talking to you, on the next one. Bye bye.